a final decision on the Northern Irish border cannot be made until a UK-EU trade deal has been agreed, Liam Fox has said, despite warnings from Brussels that trade talks cannot proceed unless an agreement is reached within days. Ireland is seen as the key obstacle to proceeding to negotiations about a future trade relationship with the EU at a December summit, with the Irish government dissatisfied with the options offered so far to prevent a hard border with Northern Ireland. Leo Varadkar, the Irish Prime Minister, has said he wants a written guarantee that there will be no hard border, which Dublin believes can be achieved only by keeping the region within the single market and customs union. Fox said that option was out of the question. "We don't want there to be a hard border, but the UK is going to be leaving the customs union and the single market," he told Sky News' Sunday with Neil Patterson. Government sources conceded there was still some way to go on the question of the border, compared with the other two key areas the EU has said also need to see sufficient progress, the financial settlement and the rights of EU citizens. Ireland's Dáil, Leo Varadkar, has been much more skeptical than the UK about the potential for avoiding border posts via virtual checks on importers. Whilst agreeing with British ministers and EU negotiators that it is inconceivable for there to be a return to a hard border with the North, Dublin argues that the best way for the UK to achieve this would be by permanently remaining in a customs union with the EU and seeking single market membership like Norway through the European Economic Area. The UK has conceded that some of this will be necessary in its interim phase after Brexit, but hopes clever technological solutions can allow it have looser economic links in the long run. Varadkar is not alone in being skeptical about whether such a cake-and-eat-it customs and trade strategy is viable. However, the government is likely to stress the common ground on both sides, that neither side wants a hard border with Ireland or physical border infrastructure, and the option to agree to Varadkar's written guarantee has not yet been definitely ruled out. Fox said the UK had always come to special arrangements with Ireland that could be written into the final agreement, but said there needed to be clarity about the future trading relationship with the EU before the border question could be settled. "We have always had exceptions for Ireland. Whether it's in our voting rights, our rights of residence in the UK, we have always accepted a certain asymmetry, and that will have to be part of whatever agreement we come to with the European Union. But we can't come to a final answer to the Irish question until we get an idea of the end state," he said. "And until we get into discussions with the EU on the end state, that will be very difficult, so the quicker we can do that the better, and we are still in a position where the EU doesn't want to do that." Fox's suggestion that a deal on the Irish border won't be finalized until later in the negotiations does not necessarily clash with the EU's position.